Hello, very good evening, all the educators who are joining us on the day number 1 of the International Bootcamp on Coding, Artificial Intelligence and Robotics for School Educators Level 2. Yes, this is the first day for the Level 2 International Bootcamp. I heartily welcome all the educators who are joining us on the day number 1 of the International. I hope you all are doing great. So I would request all the educators to please share us your country name on the chat along with your name. A very good afternoon to all the educators. Very good evening, Tanvi, Narad sir, Mukesh, Maninder, and all the educators. We will be shortly starting just in 1 more minute. Thanks, Mukesh Kumar. I would also like to introduce you to my colleague, Tina. Hello, Tina.
Hi Ayush, good evening.
Very good evening.
Yeah, I feel honored to welcome all our dear educators to International Bootcamp Program Level 2 organized by STEMpedia and ARTPARK. I'm sure that you all will feel enriched with the knowledge of artificial intelligence and robotics after the completion of this bootcamp program. I welcome you all once again to this bootcamp program level 2 and hope that you all will have a great time ahead.
So dear educators, I hope like you already have attended the educators bootcamp level 1, but still if you have not attended, there is no problem. We are going to start the things with very basics. We are going to talk about some of the basics of pictoblocks, and then of course we will be moving towards the robotics part. To start, I would like to first request all the educators who have not joined our Telegram community so please join the Telegram community by scanning this QR code on your screen. This is going to not only help us to communicate you to all the updates, but also this is an international educator community where you would be able to ask your doubts, share your thoughts on the knowledge process with other educators from around the world. So please kindly scan this QR code and be a part of the teacher community. Also, we are going to paste the link on the chat shortly. So you can even click on that and can join. It's really very important that you have already installed the Telegram in your smartphone. Now, moving ahead, as our first bootcamp level 1 was a great success with the help of all the collaborators and all the wonderful educators who joined us through from all around the world. So let's start with thanking to our collaborators. Over to you, Tina.
Okay, thank you, Ayush. International Bootcamp Program is hosted by STEMpedia, and we have ARTPARK AI and Robotics Technology Park by IISc Bangalore as our co-host. We have been supported by Niti Aayog, that is Atal Innovation Mission, which is a part of central government's education system in India. It's grateful to have All India Educators Forum and American Indian Foundation to be as our community partner. We have been supported by many international partners also, like Purpose Smart Education Palestine, National Institute of Education Singapore, Apex Coding Academy Egypt, Informatics Tunisian Association Tunisia, and EduStream UAE. Now it's time to discuss the basic objective behind this international bootcamp program. The objective of international bootcamp program is to empower all the educators by deepening their knowledge on coding, artificial intelligence, and robotics, and thus enhancing all the skills that they required for this 21st century. By this bootcamp, we are giving a hands on experience to all the educators on the latest technologies like robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning in a fun and interactive way. Learning more about robotics, artificial intelligence, and of course, machine learning, the educator will become confident to talk and discuss more about this new day technology in front of our society. Not but the least, we are making this teachers to become the ambassador of their own institution for this AI and robotics. Now, Ayush, you can take it forward.
Yeah, thanks, Tina. I think teachers who have already joined us from the level one are very clear with the things. We have already talked about these things lot many times. Also, in the closing ceremony, we came up with so wonderful opportunities for all the educators around the world. So, although I would give you a small recap of the closing ceremony, what we have talked about, and how you would be able to see those things. Before that, let me just tell you about the things what we are about to share with you towards the end of this bootcamp. Of course, we in this bootcamp, we are trying to build an international community, so where all the educators can talk about all the knowledge of artificial intelligence and their own community-based learning, I should say, learning ways. Apart from it, we are also sharing the AI and robotics teaching resources for the teachers so that they can use these resources and of course use them for the benefit of the students. Not only this, but we are also going to share the access for your students. Now, we have already ended with the bootcamp level 1. So before we move ahead and discuss about the schedule of the bootcamp level 2, I would like to just give you a small idea what exactly we did on the closing ceremony. And still, if you have not downloaded the certificates of level 1, how can you do that? This is your own dashboard, and I hope you and all and everyone have already enrolled in it. There were a few doubts by the educators. Let me just clear out them. You have to click on my courses, and before clicking on my courses, make sure that you have used your username as well as your password to sign in into ai.thestempedia.com. Once you have signed in, only then you would be able to click on my courses and you would be able to see the educators bootcamp level 1 and level 2. As if you are going to click on level 1, which we have already completed, but still you are left with the things, you do not need to worry. You can submit your assignments 3rd of July, and this complete LMS would be with you for coming 2 years. Also, here you can see these are the different lessons which we already talked about in the last bootcamp, and you can still go through with the lessons what we have talked about by just clicking on here, and you can see we have embedded the video. So you can just see this recorded video, go through with the complete content, and then of course you have to submit the activity. Once you have submitted all the activities, you would be able to see the course completion percentage. And here you can see I have received 100% complete. For some educators, these courses, or I should say these lessons, were locked. So do not forget to click on International Bootcamp and click on Enroll Now button. That is really very important. I saw that there were some educators who were finding a trouble to start the course. So you might have not clicked on Enroll Now. Once you have clicked on Enroll Now, then only you would be able to see these lessons getting open for all of you. Once you will complete this 100%, you can just click on download certificate and can download the certificate for the level 1. Now coming back to an important point, those who haven't attended the closing ceremony, they can just go into the closing ceremony section And here basically you would be able to see the video. A very important part that we want is we talked about how we are going to empower you by sharing the access of learning resources, how you can be a part of the STEMpedia innovation team, and all these things you can fill. You can let us know your interest about the ambassador programs and all by clicking on this Google form. So you have to click on this Google form. This is going to be like this, and here you have to fill this so that we can of course get your interest and of course help you, support you with the resources which we want to share to you. Now coming to the level 2 part. So before I move ahead to the level 2, let me just show you. While you would be clicking on my courses, you would be able to see the level 2 educators bootcamp, that is robotics and AI bootcamp for educators level 2. Once you will be clicking on it, you would be able to these sessions, and right now as today is the first, so it's 0% completed. Of course, here you have to click on start course and you can start the courses. You can watch these live sessions, of course, on the YouTube live. We would highly recommend you to watch this session inside your dashboard so that, of course, you would be able to go through with the content parallelly with the video. Also, in this bootcamp as last, we would be requiring your YouTube videos of the activities, where we would love to see you explaining the concept and showcasing how exactly you are playing with Quarky. So to understand the overview and the schedule of the bootcamp level 2, I would call back my colleague Tina.
Sure, Ayush.
So I'll just share my screen.
So as we all know, we have completed yesterday our bootcamp program level 1, that is coding and artificial intelligence. Today, we are going to start bootcamp program level 2, that is robotics and artificial intelligence. Here also we have 6 sessions. The session 1 is Introduction to Robotics. We'll be learning some basics of robotics, how basics of robotics working, physical computing and all, and we'll learn how to make our own robots to move. In second session, we'll learn about self-driving car. We'll understand how self-driving car works. We'll make our robot to detect a sign and move accordingly. In third session, we'll be making line follower robot. We'll understand how to calibrate IR sensor and we'll understand some basic logic behind its working, and we'll make our own robot to follow a particular path. In fourth session, we'll make our robot as a delivery bot. So we'll understand the basic application of delivery robot. We'll learn about some logics, and we'll make an activity based on this AI delivery robot. In fifth session, we'll be dealing with guest control robot. We'll understand different poses and how poses are identified on with machine learning and all, and we'll make an activity guest control robot. And finally, in sixth session is our closing ceremony. That was this complete schedule, and I would like Ayush to take it forward.
Yeah, thanks, Tina, for sharing and talking about the schedule of the bootcamp. And I think now the educators are very clear how exactly we are going to move on this educators bootcamp level 2. Coming back to the LMS part, as I said, all the things are already into the dashboard. The only important thing you have to do is log in to the ai.stempedia.com. So let me just show it to you again. Please open ai.thestempedia.com in your devices. If you have registered yourself, then of course you would be having your username and the password. if you have been registered by our team or with the help of our partners, you might have received an email with your username and password. Use your username and password to log in. Once you have logged in, you would be able to see this page, I should say your own dashboard, where you have to click on my courses, and under my courses, you would be able to see about the Educators Bootcamp Level 2. Now, here you would be able to see all the sessions, starting with the first one, that is Introduction to Robotics. So today we would be, of course, covering the things, and you have to go on understanding the concepts, and then at last you have to submit the activity. So at the end, you would be able to see that you can submit your assignment. As of now, okay, I can see right now it's showing that you have to submit MOV, but don't worry. By the end of the session, we'll get it done that you would be able to submit your YouTube video link here. Okay, so I'll just get in touch with my team and I'll get this corrected. So you have to basically submit the YouTube video link of your activity. Once you have done it, of course, you can click on mark as complete, and then you would be moving to the next part of the session. Now, I think now it's a high time to start with our today's session. So let me just share back my screen. Now, before we start and move ahead, let me again tell you a very important point, that you have to be part of this Telegram group, so that it becomes easy for us to communicate you, to provide you reminders, to share you the information related to the boot camps and the other developments going around us. So please scan this QR code and be a part of the community. Now moving ahead with, of course, we have talked about the objectives, but if we talk about that how exactly this robotic kit, what you have, we would be talking about, of course, the Quarky, but what exactly we are focusing with this kit. So with this kit and of course the PictoBlocks, we are focusing on coding, whether it's a graphical or a Python base. We are focusing on the concepts of artificial intelligence, like face detection, object detection, optical character recognition, and many more. We also want that all the educators should get a wonderful hands-on with the robotics and its understanding. Not only this, we want all the educators should, of course, understand the different technologies which are coming right now in the 21st century. And one of the very famous, I should say, is self-driving cars. Apart from it, we would be also focusing on tinkering. That means how you can use these concepts to make your own wonderful projects. And at last, of course, we would be talking about some projects where we would be working on industry-based concepts and its automation. I hope we are ready to move ahead, and I hope you all have taken out your Quarkies. So if you already have your Quarkies, please send me yes on the chat, as well as just please bring out your Quarky, because now we would be working on it. We would be talking about the Quarky. Till the time you get ready with the Quarky, let me just show you a small video.
Ayush, I think it's not, we cannot hear the video.
Okay,
Can
okay,
you just enable the,
I'll
yeah.
just share the sound. Yeah.
It suggests
including
It's versatile, feature-rich piece of hardware.
My best companion to use artificial intelligence, robotics, and coding.
What is this futuristic companion that everyone is raving about? Meet Quarky. It's a gesture-controlled robot. No. A smart gardening system? No, wait. An autonomous delivery truck? No. A Mars rover? Actually, it's all this rolled into one.
Hi, Quarky.
Hi, Jay.
It's an AI and robotics learning companion for the next generation. Quarky takes children on an exciting journey to explore advanced concepts on AI and robotics with an easy, engaging, and hands-on approach. It is packed with interactive online courses and engaging live sessions that help children to learn, code, and make their own real-world projects. In other words, one Quarky, endless possibilities. Quarky is portable. Carry Quarky around and control it using your laptop, tablet, or even a smartphone. It's easy to program whether you're a coding newbie using blocks or an expert using Python. Comes with a plug-and-play interface, making it hassle-free and with some of the coolest latest tech. So imagine a self-driving car which identifies street signs and pedestrians, or a faithful robot dog that follows commands with the help of machine learning and object detection. It's evident that Quarky is for everyone who wants to be ahead of the curve.
It's so useful for AI education.
Мои дети не могут остановиться и целый день играют в Quarky.
Quarky will guide you from being zero to an AI hero.
So I hope you might have got a good idea about how exactly, what exactly the Quarky is, and on on this robotics kit we are going to work for coming days, and we would be learning different concepts. Now I can see some of the questions on the chat that some of the educators are finding a problem related to the access. Okay. So you do not need to worry about it. Of course, we are going to help you. You can put it forward on the Telegram group. Also, you can join our DAO session, which would be after this live session, where you can join us on Zoom and of course can talk with our other trainers to help you and support you to get the access and show you how exactly the things would be moving ahead. So I hope we are good to move ahead. So right now, I'll just start with what exactly the Quarky is. Okay, so I hope you would be all able to see my screen now. And of course, this is the Quarky which you might have already received, or you might be having it from like some previous collections. Okay, so now we would be talking about the Quarky. And here, if you'll see, this is out of one of the boxes, a yellow color box, right? So this is a Quarky Innovator Kit. Now, in the Quarky Innovator Kit, you might have received some important parts, some important, I should say, booklets. So let's talk little about it. So the first and a very important part, you might have received a bag of purple color parts, which we are going to use, of course. The next, you might have received a battery of 500 mAh. You would have also received an arena, you can see right now. And of course, the Quarky bot. Along with this, you would have received a screwdriver where we can use it for making different configurations. So we can work on vertical configurations. We can even work on, I should say, horizontal orientations of the Quarky. Now, first of all, we would be using the Quarky. Okay, and of course, the first part is we have to take out the Quarky. So I would request everyone to please take out the Quarky so that like we can start working on it. Also, I would request you all to please take out the purple color parts. Okay, so now I'll just show back my Quarky to all of you. Yeah, so here comes the parts and the battery which you might have received inside the inside the box. So now talking about what exactly the Quarky is. So of course the Quarky is an electronic board which has a lot of features. Of course, we will be talking about all of its features, but starting with here, let me just turn it back. Yeah, starting it from backside. Okay, so if you'll see the Quarky, you would be able to see it somewhat like a car. Okay, so of course we know there are two geared motors on each side, and this is a caster wheel, which is a mechanical wheel, which is, you can say, as a third wheel attached to the Quarky. Now moving ahead with some of the electronic features, or you can say electronic parts inside the Quarky. So the Quarky comes up with the 7x5 RGB display. You can see this is an LED display where we would be able to bring up any numbers, any of the words or alphabets. And this is, of course, is in our today's activity. Along with this, it has two tactile switches, which you can see is on one on right and one on left side. Even it has been marked with R and L. Now coming to the part down below. So it has 5 touch pads, touch sensors at the bottom, which is going to help the Quarky to understand that if physically, if we are touching it. Okay, so these are the different touch sensor. Apart from it, it has 2 servo motors connection where we can connect servo motors, and also a generic input output sensor. So here basically we can connect the different sensors. Now on the diagram, of course, we have marked it as top and bottom. So top is blue in color. So right now we are talking about the top. So all the parts which you can see on your screen right now, that is 7x5 RGB display. Of course, we have talked about. We have talked about tactile switches. We have talked about the touch pins, right? And also we have talked about 6 generic input outputs. Now, coming to the back side, if you see on back side, of course, it has 2 IR sensors on the top. Okay, I hope this is clear to everyone. So we have 2 IR sensors on the top part. We have a power switch on the left hand side of the Quarky, which is going to help us to turn it on and turn it off. Along with this, we have a C-type cable jack, and that is a very important part because it is going to help us in many situations. Apart from it, you would be also able to see a reset point on just top of this C-type port, which is going to help us to turn the Quarky switch on off just for a few seconds in case we are finding some trouble. Along with this, it has a small speaker at the center, and of course a controller, that is ESP32, which is going to help us to connect our Quarky with PictoBlocks using Bluetooth. And in the future, of course, we are going to come up with different Wi-Fi controlled projects. I hope everything is clear till now. Along with this, you would be able to see a small port where we would be connecting our own battery. So we would be talking about battery and its connection. So if everything is clear, I would request you all to please put it forward on the chart. I think now you would have also explored your own Quarky till the time. So right now we are focusing more on the Quarky kit sub. as this is the latest AI product we have, and this is like we are getting an amazing feedback from all around the world. Of course, Evive have their own benefits, but right now during this bootcamp, we would be working on Quarky. Okay, so thanks everyone for mentioning it on the chat. Now moving ahead, how we can put up power. Of course, a robot is nothing if we haven't given any power to it. So now, of course, the Quarky has two power supplies. The first and a very important is the battery. Since it's a robot kit, so we would be requiring a battery so that we can work with the mobility of the robot. So here, the first and important thing is turn around your Quarky, and on the battery port, you have to connect the battery. You can take out the battery from your own kit. Okay, so now on the Quarky, you would be able to see the port, and in the battery, basically you would be able to see the two colored wires, that is red and black. So basically, I'll just turn it around. So you have to keep the red wire on right hand side and push this inside the battery port. So you would be able to see that I have pushed off. Okay, please make your screen bigger. Okay, so I'll stop my share. That will going to make the screen bigger. Yeah. Okay, so now I hope this is now much more clearer. And here you can see, basically, I'll just bring it out and show it to you again. So you can just take this battery, put the red wire on right hand side, and then push this inside the battery port, which is on the right hand side. Okay, so now you would, I think this is pretty clear that how exactly you connect the battery. Now, of course, if we are working with a robot which has wheels, it's really important that we attach the battery in such a way that it don't get damaged. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to take this battery, put it longitudinally on like this, okay, on the Quarky, and you have to take out the purple color parts from the packet you have received. The three important parts which we would be utilizing right now would be A1, A2, and A3. Okay. Actually, right now we are not going to use A3. We are only going to use A1 and A2. So if you'll see this closely, you would be able to see, I'm just putting my Quarky aside, and you would be able to see this is the Quarky A1 part, which is moreover looks like a car shaped part. Okay, so I hope this you are able to see. So this is the A1 part which we would be using to make a battery holder. Okay, and here, so let me just bring down the Quarky. Okay, and now you have to use this A1 part, okay, and you have to keep this upside part at the back side, okay, and you have to snap the plastic part from top to bottom. Now, if you will be able to see, you can see basically here that A1 part is somewhere, I should say the part which has an upper side is somewhere at the back side, right? So that it can be kept on and near to the motor. Okay, so now let me just okay, so now I will use the second A1 part to snap this. Okay, and I hope so. We would be talking about how we can charge and other stuff. So right now we are working basically on this part, which is I should say battery holder. So I hope everyone would be able to complete the task till here. Okay, so again I will just show it to you. So you have to snap this part. Okay, you have to keep this part, okay, which is an upper side at the back side near to the motor. You have to snap this, Okay, and let me just snap it from top to bottom, and it would be connected. Okay, now to make complete battery holder, you have to use the A2 part basically to cover both of the A1 part. Okay, so I'll just put A2 part on top of it. You have to make sure that you snap it correctly, and you would be able to see two holes, or you can see two snaps. Okay, so you have to make sure that your A2 parts covers both of the snaps. Okay, and once you have done it, you would be able to see your Quarky something like this. So if we all have done it till here, that's superb. Still, if you are facing a problem, do not need to worry. You can just bring out the booklet inside your Quarky kit, and you would be able to see each and every pictures around it. So I'll just wait for your answers that you have done it. So I can see some answers that our Quarky is ready. So as I was talking about the getting started booklet, so you can see all the things inside this booklet as well. Okay, so all the steps are already mentioned, that how you have to connect the battery, how you can just connect and snap the parts to make battery holder. Okay, so I hope you can see these things inside this booklet as well. Oh, that's superb, I can see. So now talking about a very important part, now you can just turn your Quarky on with this switch on button. Okay, and as soon as you turn it on, you would be able to see a getting started program. For, of course, right now for me, it is not visible because I'm using my old Quarky, but for all the new users, you would be able to see a getting started program. So when you would be able to see a getting started program, that means basically here, I should say, it would be asking you to explore all the features. Okay, and then how exactly you can explore all the feature is you can just do the things as your Quarky is saying. The first important thing, Quarky is going to say to you to press the left tactile switch. Okay, so you have to press the left tactile switch. As soon as you press this left tactile switch, the arrow on the LED screen would be showing you to press the right tactile switch. So then you have to press the right tactile switch. As soon as you complete pressing the tactile switches, now the game would be coming down where you would be able to play catch the fruit. Okay, so what exactly there would be in the game is the fruits would be falling from the top LED to down randomly, and you would be on the last row of the LED where in the white color. You have to use these two tactile switches and play the game to carry all the I should say to catch the fruits. And basically you have to basically you have to catch 5 fruits. Yeah, so for you right now, the blue light won't come, as I said. The first is you have to complete the getting started program. So please complete the getting started program. That was like it would be asking you to press the tactile switches. Then the next would be you have to complete the catch the fruit game. Once you have done it, then the next would be you have to press these touchpads. Okay, so I hope you all are following it, you all are able to check it. So I would try to show you the getting started program. Just give me a minute. Okay, that's superb. I can see completed, sir, but no light. Okay, not a problem. Your Quarky would be saying it to you to connect to pictoblocks. Okay, the Quarky would be saying it to you to connect to the pictoblocks. So I'm trying to get the getting started program on my Quarky so that I would be able to showcase it to you. So I would be talking about the power till the time, that how exactly we are able to power the Quarky. So as we know, we have connected the Quarky with the battery, right? So of course, the one medium of providing a power to the Quarky would be the battery which has came up inside the box. Now, of course, battery would require a charging, right? So you would be able to charge the Quarky, okay, with the USB-C type cable that would have received by you inside the box. Now you can connect your Quarky with your laptop or any other charger to charge it. Make sure that whenever you are getting it charged, you would be able to see some indication. Okay, so now I would like to show you some of those indication. So now I think you would be able to see a getting started program. So this is how exactly your Quarky would be saying, hi, I'm Quarky. So now you can see, basically it is saying me to press the left tactile switch. As I said, on this stage, I need to click on left tactile switch. Once I've clicked on left tactile switch, the next is I have to click on right tactile switch. Once you have done, click on right tactile switch. Okay, once you have clicked on the left tactile switch, now here you can see basically this is a catch the fruit game, and here you have to use, you are the white person at the bottom, so this is you can move yourself here and there using these tactile switches. So main idea of this game is you have to collect the fruit. So right now you can see the fruit is falling from the second column. So I'll just go to second column and I'll catch these fruits. Now using the tactile switch, I am trying to play and catch the fruits. Once you have caught 5 fruits, it is going to say you that let's press the touchpads, and it would be showcasing you the blue lights at the bottom. So now here basically you have to touch the touchpads and you would be able to, let me touch it from this side. Make sure you touch all the touchpads one by one. Once you have touched all the touchpads, then it is going to say to you that please basically connect to PictoBlocks. So I hope this is pretty clear, and now we all are on the same page. Now, once you have done it, the next is you might have also received, as I said, the C-type cable, and now the first thing is we are going to connect it to the PictoBlocks. So I want everyone to please connect the Quarky with the C-type cable. I would request not to spam on the chat. Tina. Okay, so now coming to the point, how can we connect the C-type cable? So to connect the C-type cable, you can just connect the C-type port here on the Quarky, and the other USB part, you can connect it to your device. I should say you can connect it to your laptops. Okay. Now let me just share my screen. And bring down the PictoBlocks here on the screen. Okay, so I hope you would be all able to see. The first and a very important step is we have to connect the Quarky. Okay, so how can we connect the Quarky? So here on the top, on the PictoBlocks, you would be able to see an option of board. So let me just try to mark it. So here you would be able to see an option of board. Okay, so here you have to click on board. Once you have clicked on board, you would be able to see the multiple options of the boards which you can connect on the PictoBlocks. Basically, here you have to select the core key. Once you have selected the core key, the next is you have to click on connect option. Okay, so make sure you click on connect. This is the connect option. Once you have clicked on connect, you would be able to find your Quarky here. So right now you can see my device is connected to COM number 6. So I'll just click it here. Okay, as soon as I click it here, you would be basically able to see the change in icon. Okay, so here you would be able to see in change in icon. Before it was detached, now it is showing that the connections have been attached. So you would be able to see this icon. Okay, so this icon will let you know about that whether the Quarky is right now connected or not. So make sure that whenever you are doing a program and if you see that's not working, that this is connected. Okay, so I think you all have understood that how we are connecting the Quarky with USB cable. Now, as we have the latest PictoBlocks came up just a month ago, right? So every time we are going to come up with the new updates with the PictoBlocks, we would request all the educators to please upgrade their core keys. That means, of course, Quarky has some internal files, okay, and that needs to be updated as your smartphone. Quarky can be only updated by connecting it to the laptop. So make sure you connect it right now with the laptop and then press an upload firmware option. And let me just mark this where exactly it is so that, yeah. So here basically you would be able to see upload firmware. Okay. So here what you have to do is you have to just click on this button, upload firmware. Okay. Right now it's showing for me its firmware is already updated. Okay. It's showing my firmware is already updated. But in case it's if it is taking an update, you would be able to see a small progress bar in this area. Okay, so you would be able to see a small progress bar in this area. Okay, right now for me, it's not showing as I have already updated it. So please click on upload firmware option, which is just here after connecting the Quarky, so that your Quarky is updated. Once your Quarky has been uploaded with new firmware, you have to start with the getting started program once again. As I said, it comes up just because to let you know that your Quarky has been updated, as well as we have came up with all the new upgradations in your Quarky. I hope everyone is on the same page. They might have uploaded the firmware. So we'll just wait for a few minutes so that you can upload the firmware and move ahead with making the different activities. Upload in progress if it is showing. So we have to wait. It would be started just in few seconds, and there would be coming numbers like percentage that the amount of upload is completed. Thanks, Ankit sir, for mentioning about the current progress. So I would request all other educators also to please let us know about how exactly the things are working. So please let me know on the chat if your upload is completed so that we would be moving ahead. Okay, so now moving ahead, I think everyone might have completed the upload firmware option, and then the next thing would be coming up is your getting started program that you can of course do it very easily as you have already done it before. Okay. Okay, so now moving ahead to the part that right now we have connected our Quarky. So let's see some of the things which we have received here on the pictoblocks as soon as we selected the Quarky as a board. And here you would be able to see a new palette coming. Yeah, of course, there are new palettes coming up named Quarky, display, robot, sensor, and speaker. I hope you might have already noticed this, that you have received some new palettes as soon as you selected the Quarky. Now, of course, on the top, that is the Quarky. Those blocks right now we are not going to use. That you can, of course, we can use in the advanced part where we can also upload the programs in the Quarky, but right now that is not the use that is not of use for us now. Okay, now I'll just clear the screen first. Yeah, now we would be talking about the first important palette which we want to talk about, that is the display. So as soon as you click on display, you would be able to come up with the different blocks which are like red in color, and let's understand what exactly it does and how exactly it can make us do some activities. So the first activity here is basically to bring the different emotions on the screen or on the LEDs of the Quarky. So to start with, why not just drag the first block to center and let's see what happens with the Quarky. As I said, it's really important that you make sure that your Quarky is connected properly. That can be checked by the connect option on the top, okay, and seeing the icon that the two wires seems to be connected. Now let me just bring down the first block and zoom it. So this is the first block that says happy emotion. Okay. So now here, as soon as I'm going to click on it, or let me just bring a block which says when green flag is clicked. And now as soon as I click on green flag, I would be basically able to see some emotion on the Quarky display.
Hello, Ayush.
Yes.
Your mic was mute.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
So I'm sorry, I think I just kept myself on mute. Okay, not a problem. We would be talking about these things again. So as the thing which I covered was that you have to drag the blocks from the display, okay? And in the display, you can just bring down the block. And this is a block from the event palette, okay? And I'm going to put it on top of it, and we can display the different emotions on the Quarky LED. So once I'll click it here, I would be able to see happy emotion. I can change the emotions from the drop down by selecting the different emotions like angry. I can change it to disco. Okay, so there are different emotions of Quarky which you can display. Now, of course, emotion is a very important part, but of course, apart from it, what we can do here is we can also work with animation. So now let's bring the second block and put it just below the when green flag is clicked. And here, if you'll notice it very carefully, as soon as I click on green flag, I am able to see a small animation. Okay, I think everyone is following this. But of course, we are not able to see this animation for a good amount of time, or I should say noticeable amount of time. So for that, what we can do is we can go to control, we can bring the forever block, and then we can click on green flag. And now the animation would work again and again till the time I'm not going to stop it from the PictoBlocks option of stop the script on the top of the stage. I can have many other animations here. So you can see this is a blinking animation. Okay, so now I'm stopping this too as of now. So I think this is very, very clear to all and everyone that how exactly we are able to work with Quarky with this connecting it with USB cord. But of course, as I said, this is very important for us that we should be able to work with Quarky with Bluetooth. And because as if we are saying it a robotic kit, it's become very much important that we work with the Bluetooth so that it can be utilized, the more utilization of mobility of Quarky can be seen. Okay, so now I'm just right now disconnecting my Quarky. Okay, so I'll just disconnect and let's see how exactly we can connect the Quarky with the Bluetooth. So for this, of course, I will turn off my Quarky. Okay, so I'll start it with fresh. A very important part here is that if you want to work with the Bluetooth connectivity of the Quarky in your laptops, okay, or desktops. It's really necessary that you should have the Bluetooth inside it. Okay, only then the Quarky would be able to Quarky would be visible in the pictoblocks. Now, there is a small software which would be required in your desktop to work with Bluetooth, and without it, you cannot connect your Quarky with the Bluetooth to pictoblocks. And the name is, of course, the pictoblocks link. This pictoblocks link is basically going to help us to connect my Quarky with pictoblocks. Okay, so you can just watch this video what exactly the pictoblocks link is, but for as of now, the first step is you have to download the pictoblocks link from this option. So you have to click on Windows if you want to download the Windows setup, and if you're working on Mac OS, so please click on Mac OS version. Okay, once you have clicked on either of it, it would be downloaded. So you would be able to see the pictoblocks link downloaded. Okay, let me just show it to you. As an MSI file, okay. Let me just share my screen here. Okay, and here if I will search pictoblocks link, so here you would be able to see an MSI file, that is pictoblocks link for Windows, since I'm right now currently working on Windows. You have to install it. For me, it's showing an open, so you have to click it on open and install this. Once you have installed it, then of course, you have to turn it on, and all the basic instructions related to the pictoblocks link can be seen over the website. Like the step number 1 is you have to install the pictoblocks link, you have to switch it on, and your pictoblocks link would be visible at the bottom of your screen left hand side. This will make sure that your pictoblocks link has been started. Now let me just show it to you how we can do it. So I have already pictoblocks link installed in my computer. So I'll just directly bring that, and I have clicked on pictoblocks link. And now at the bottom, let me just mark it for all of you. You would be able to see this pictoblocks icon coming. Okay, so this makes sure that your pictoblocks link is activated. Okay, and once your pictoblocks link is activated, then only you would be able to connect it with Bluetooth. It can be even checked in, oh, I'm sorry. It can be even checked on the hidden icon option, where you just see the options basically to check the volume and all. So you can just even click on the options. This option where at the bottom to check whether pictoblocks link is working or not. Once you have started with the pictoblocks link, as you can see right now, my pictoblocks link is working. So I'll just click it here and show you this is the pictoblocks link already working. So now the next part is I have to go to my pictoblocks software. So once I have reached to my pictoblocks software, I'll just remove this. Okay, now this time again I have to click on board. I'll connect Quarky. I'll click on connect, and this time I have to click here on Bluetooth port. So make sure you are clicking here on Bluetooth port. Okay, so make sure you click on this Bluetooth port. Once you'll click on this Bluetooth port, you would be able to see your Quarky getting discovered. So, but a very important part that you have to turn on your Quarky as well. So right now my Quarky is not turned on. So let me turn it on. So right now you can see as soon as I just turn it on, my Quarky is getting detected. So I'll just click on connect. As soon as you click on connect, let me just bring this Quarky near to the camera. Yeah. So as soon as I click on connect, you would be able to see the Quarky is connected. And right now I have to go to editor. We can start with the same part to check whether my Quarky is connected or not. So you can see it on top option, as well as you can bring the same blocks, that is when green flag is clicked, and display the happy emotion. And now if I click on this green flag, you can see that this is connected without wire, and I am able to do all of this with the Bluetooth. So I hope this is pretty clear. To clear the screen, of course, we have a block, and we can just click it here and clear the screen. Now moving to the mobility part, right? So how can we work on the mobility, or I should say robotics part? So once you click on robot, there are some green blocks which are going to help us basically to work. Just a sec. So there are some green blocks which are going to help me to work with making my Quarky move. Okay. And that is, of course, a very important part. Okay. So before we go, let's make a small activity on display and roll out our own names. Okay. So I'll just go to display and let me just bring down a block which says when green flag is clicked, I want my name to be rolled down. Okay. So I'll just bring down the block which says hello. Okay. And let me just set my Quarky in a way you would be able to see it. And now in this text area, basically I can write hello educators. So here basically you have to write your own name. Okay. So I'll now click on the green flag, and you would be able to see I'm able to roll out the text what I have written over the picto blocks. So now you can see it is showing me hello educators. So, but here you have to roll out your own name. Okay. So we want you to roll your own name. So like I'll write it Ayush, and I'll just change it to a different color. So blue is of course my favorite. So I'll just select blue. And now you can see I'm able to roll out my name on the Quarky. So this is how exactly I did it from the display palette. Okay. So now the next part which I wanted to cover here was talking about how exactly we can work with Quarky as a robot. When we are talking about robot, of course, there are different types of robots which are autonomous controlled, and many more. So, but today we are going to work with a very basic of robotics part. So let me just share my screen. So we would be talking about robot movements. So before we make the activity, let's understand some of the logic part. So we can make our robot or a Quarky move in different directions, of course, forward direction, backward direction, left or a right. So since it has two wheels, so of course, we have to work with both wheels simultaneously to make it move forward. So as on the screen, you can see if I want my Quarky to move on the right hand side or the left hand side, of course, there would be some changes, but to start it with very basic part, if I want it to move forward direction, so my direction of the wheels of both the sides would be in front direction, then only I would be able to see my Quarky moving in front direction. If in case I want my Quarky to move backward, So of course, I want both the wheels direction to the backward. We would be coming to the left motion and the right motion later. So, but let's first start with the part how we can move it forward. So here in this, you would be able to find the robot palette, and in the robot palette, you can see I have a block which says run the left motor. Okay, so as we just discussed that if in case I want it to move forward, what I'm going to do it here is I'll be making a left motor move forward, as well as I would be also making right motor move forward. Okay, and that is something going to make my Quarky move ahead, right? Apart from it, of course, we can use the stop robot. Two times that I want the stop left motor as well as a right motor, since I have used both the motors going forward. I would use a small weight block, and let's see whether it works or not. So I'll just bring this little back. So you can see it moved forward, but of course, not exactly forward. The problem here, what happened was basically it took the actions one by one. That means when I clicked on green flag, so what happened that the first instruction taken by the Quarky was that left motor move forward. So if you'll see very carefully, as soon as I click on green flag, so one motor starts early and also the second motor starts little late, and the similar way in while stopping. But of course, this is the movement of the going forward. So now what I can do here is I have a block in robot where of course I can stop the robot just by one block. I don't want to stop it using the stopping the different robots. So I'll just click it here. Now if you'll see it moved little more in forward direction. Similarly, if I make it backward, okay, so let me just click on backward and here to backward from the drop down. And as soon as I click it here, so you would be able to see it went backward direction, right? Now, I'll just bring down my slide back to just tell you about the left motion and the right motion. So if we're talking about the left motion, and if you think that how exactly I can take a left turn. So for Quarky, of course, if we are talking about this, Quarky is left turn this. So the Quarky is only going to take the left turn in case my left motor is going backward. That means if you'll see the rotation, that this rotation would be somewhere in the backward direction, and this rotation would be somewhere in the forward direction. That is going to make my Quarky move on the left hand side. So let's see how exactly we can do that. So what I'm going to do here is I would say left motor go forward and right motor go left motor go backward and right motor go forward. And let me now just click it here. So you can see it took a turn, right? It took a left turn. If in case I don't want these two blocks, I can keep it aside to show you how exactly the movement would be. As soon as I click it here, you can see it is taking the left turns, right? So this is of course a left turn. So I'll click on this to stop the robot. Now, if I want a right turn, so in that scenario, I would say my right motor should go backward while the left motor should go forward. Because if I want this Quarky to move in this direction, basically this direction that is right hand side, I would require that this motor should go in the backward direction. So let's see whether it works or not. So now you can see my Quarky is able to take the right turn. I'll stop it right away. But of course, this is a concept. When we are making a big projects, we cannot take so big blocks and so big concepts together. So for that, what we have done it here is we have already made these blocks, which is going to help you to make it move forward and make it move forward for a certain time. And directly, as I said, you can stop the robot. So these blocks are going to basically help you to just with a single click. You don't have to work motor wise. You can just click it here. Although this is, I'll try. Okay, so you can see it is going forward, and as soon as I clicked here, so it stopped. So if I click on backward, so you can see it came backward. But I was clicking on stop because this block, the first one, go backward at 100% speed, will keep taking my Quarky back. Instead of that, what I can use is I can use this block which says go forward for a certain time. Basically here, if I click it here, it is automatically be going to stop itself after 1 second. And if I want it to come backward for 1 second and I click on green flag, I'm able to make it, bring it back just for 1 second. So now, similarly, if I say I want it to take left turn for 1 second. So let's see what happens. So it took a left turn for 1 second. And if I say take a right turn for 1 second, I would be able to see it's taking a right turn for 1 second. Now, important part here is that if we are assuming our Quarky to be a car, okay, let's assume this is a car and we have a person with me and who wants to sit on this car, and then I want it to go to certain directions, okay, and I want it to take the right and a left turn. So for us in real, of course, if we are talking a right turn, that means certainly a right turn moreover into 90 degrees, right? That means if I'm clicking it here and asking it to take a right turn, it's taking a right turn. But if you see the orientation, the final orientation is getting into the backward direction. That is not exactly we can work with the real vehicles. So what can we do? So here what we can do is we can decrease this time. So instead of 1, what I'm going to do it here is I'm going to take it 0.5. Okay, and now I'll just click it, take a right. So now you can see while decreasing the time, what happened? Now my Quarky is able to take the perfect 90-degree right turn and a left turn. So let me just click it back. So now you can see with these turns, how perfect these turns are that my Quarky is able to take with the time constraint. And that is the major utility of this block then when we want it to move to right and left, right? So I hope these things are like very clear to all of you. Okay, so now I would like to basically make a small program of showcasing you how exactly if I want my Quarky to be a wireless robot. Okay, so how I can make the wireless robot out of my Quarky. So before we go ahead, let's understand the logics. Okay, here you will, if you will see that when green flag is pressed, basically we have different keys in our smartphones as well as in our laptops through which we can use, command our Quarky to move right, left, here and there, of course. So what we are going to do here is we are going to use 4 different keys, okay, that is upward, that is down, left and right, to make my robot turn in different direction. So I'm going to program it in a way that if I press a green flag, my program is going to check whether I'm pressing the up arrow key or not. If I'm not pressing the up arrow key, Then of course it will check the next condition, that is, am I pressing a down arrow key or not? But if in case the answer comes yes on the first part, that yes, you are pressing the up arrow key, the Quarky is going to turn itself. Okay, and it is going to make, I should say, uh, it is going to run the robot in the forward direction. Similarly, if even the down key is not pressed, it is next going to check the left key is pressed or not. If it is pressed, of course, it is going to take a left turn. Now, if in case the left arrow key is not pressed, the next would be checking of right arrow key. If a right arrow key is pressed, then of course take a right turn, and if still all the conditions are false, that up is not pressed, left is not pressed, down is not pressed, right is not pressed, at the end I want my Quarky to be still standing at its own place. So now how exactly we can make this? Okay, so now it's going to be very easy. The first is we would require when green flag is clicked. Okay, and the next is I have to use a block which is a control from forever. Why I'm using it a forever? Because I want to check each and every time if I am changing my arrow keys. Okay, if I'm changing my arrow keys, I want it to be checked there itself. So the first is we are going to make a condition, and in this condition I need to check which key I'm pressing. That can be checked out of the sensing palette, and I would be checking it here, that whether I have pressed up arrow key or not. If I have pressed up arrow key, what do I want? So as discussed, we'll go to robot, we'll bring this block. I want my robot to move forward for 1 second. Else, now the question comes, what has to be put on else? So as we just discussed about the logic, that in the else part, we are going to check the second key, that is down arrow key is pressed or not. So here basically I would be checking again. That means I would be bringing the if else condition again, and I'll put it inside here. And let me just bring all and all inside the forever, because I need to check all the condition forever, that is again and again. This time I would be checking whether I have pressed the down arrow or not. If I have pressed the down arrow, I'll again go to robot palette, and I'm going to bring the block that says go backward. I hope this is getting clear. And now again in the else part, I would bring the same block that says if else, because I need to check the condition. And this time I would be checking whether I have pressed left arrow key or not. So I'm just repeating those steps again and again. So sorry, not down. I have to check left or right. So let's check left. And here, a very important part, what we discussed, that for taking the left turn, of course, I can take this block, which is going to take me to the left turn, but make sure that you change the timing, because as we have seen that to take a perfect turn, we require 0.5 second left turn only. Now the last condition to be checked, and I would be checking it with again if else, and here I would be again checking whether the right arrow key is pressed or not. And while checking the right arrow key, I would basically bring the block which says turn the right. Again, I'll change it to 0.5. Now, what has to be kept at the last? So as discussed, as I said on the logic part, the last is a stop robot. If you're not able to get any true condition, everything is no, I'll just bring the stop robot. So let me just bring this stop robot here and press the green flag. So to show it to you completely, I'm just zooming out. And here if I'll press a green flag. So now you can see that it's checking again and again. As soon as I'm going to press this, I'm able to make it bring right, left. So right now I'm pressing the arrow keys on my, I should say, I'm pressing these keys on my keyboard. So you can see that how I'm able to. So from your side, of course, you can bring some emotions to that. If you're pressing an up arrow key, you can bring an emotion of happy, something like that. So you can, of course, try those things. Okay, let me just try to bring this. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just try to bring it on center by hand. Okay, so I hope these things are pretty clear that how exactly we have worked on. Okay, so I'll not take much more of your time, and I would like to basically even show you that how exactly you can work with this connecting in the smartphone. That is really very important. So right now I'm stopping this. I'm also disconnecting my Quarky from here so that of course I can open it on the smartphone. So now I'll just stop my share and I'll try to share my screen of smartphone. So till the time, if you have any doubts, you can please ask it on chat, Tatina. I think now we can open up the chat for the educators. So I'll just share my screen here. Okay, so I hope you would be able to see my screen of smartphone, because it's really important that we should be able to work on the smartphone pictoblocks with Quarky, because then only we would be able to give it more mobility, right? So that like we can even work it with anywhere we can teach the students. So for this, of course, the first step is I have to click on my space. Once I have clicked on my space, I have to click on this plus symbol. Okay. Once I click on this plus symbol, so here my pictoblocks screen would come up, and in the pictoblocks screen, once the projects have been loaded and the blocks have been added, on the top side, basically you would be able to see the board option. So let me just mark it for you to like again no confusion. So this is a board option. So once you're going to click on board option, you would be able to see the different board options coming. And basically, once you'll be able to see different board options coming, you have to click on the core keyboard option there. Okay. So let me just delete this first. So once you have clicked on core keyboard option, you will notice that there are other palettes who have joined in your palettes, okay, which are again related to the core key, as we have already seen in the PC. And the next would be you have to click on connect. So make sure you allow all the services while if you are doing it for the first time, because it's very necessary that you give all the access. So yes, of course, you don't require any link on your phone, okay? when you're working on your phone, you do not require any of the links. You can directly connect it. The PictoBlocks link is only useful when you're working on basically, I should say, the desktop or laptop version. Here you would be able to see the Quarky, okay, directly. So you can just click it here and your Quarky would be connected. Once your Quarky would be connected, of course, you can bring the different blocks from robots and make the same program. So right now, I'm not going to repeat that program, but of course, what I'm going to do it here is I would like to show you that it's all working so good. So I have connected the Quarky. Okay. So my screen is getting a little lag, but you don't need to worry. For you, it's not going to happen since I'm mirroring my phone screen to laptop and then to the YouTube. So here, basically, if I bring the block, so you can see my Quarky is connected. And as soon as I'm going to press the green flag, okay, I would be able to notice. So right now, I just press this on my phone and I will just click on backward so that I can just bring it backward. So as I said, right now I'm doing it in my smartphone, okay? Although on my screen, it is coming up with a small lag, but you don't need to worry, okay? So I'm able to move my Quarky here with this code and I'm able to change it and do it, okay? So you can see how exactly and pretty easy it is. So we would love to basically for you to use this and work it over with your smartphones, with your laptops, desktops. So I hope these things are like very clear to each and everyone. So I won't be taking much more of your time. And if you have not joined the Telegram group, please join us, the Telegram group. And I would kindly request all the educators to please fill up the feedback form. That is really very important for all of us to come up with the new things. And we would be taking so many things in the coming sessions. So for our improvements, for our motivation, please feel free to put it forward, all the details you want in your feedback form. Now, as I have gotten info from my team, I'll just remove this, that we have already now changed the part which I was talking about. Like now you have to make a YouTube video link of your project, and then of course you can share it on the LMS, that is Learning Management System, or in your dashboard. So you can just click on the Robotics AI Bootcamp Educator Level 1. And today we have discussed about introduction to robotics. Link for the global educators not working, we'll just check it right away. So let me just directly click in here and try to open it. So it seems it's getting open, but still if you are facing any problem, you can find this same link in your dashboard as well. Let me just check it. Okay. Actually, Tina, I would request you to please resend the link. Actually, some part of the new, do we still need a Bluetooth connectivity? It's already connected to Lego UA. So we are talking right now about the Quarky. So yeah, of course, for Quarky, you would require a PictoBlocks link. So yeah, Tina, I would request you to please share this form again. And I think by like a typo error, we have added some ATL part on the form part. Okay, so please share the links again. You can share two separate links. Yeah. Okay, so here also you can fill up these forms, not a problem, educators. And at the bottom, of course, on each activity, you would be submitting your YouTube videos. So here you can see on all the projects, we have added an upload project link where you can, of course, mark your name and then the name of the activity, submit your YouTube video link. Here with us on dashboard so that you can complete it towards the end and of course, earn your badges and the certificate. But we'd also recommend you to please share your videos on the Telegram group that always motivate us and the other educators. Still, if you're finding any problem, please join our doubt session, which would be starting in few time, like I can say in the next 20 minutes after this session. The link for the doubt sessions are already shared in the chat, as well as you would be getting those links in the Telegram group. Okay, so please feel free to join our group, join our doubt session where we can help you to resolve all your doubts, whether it's from technical or it's from basically, I should say, the access of the LMS. So we would be looking forward for you into the doubt session as well. So that was all for the today. I hope you have liked the session. You have got a fair idea. You would have started working on basically the Quarky. Okay, and of course we have just started, so do not worry still if the things are you're not able to understand or do the things. We along with our trainers are going to support you in our doubt session to get everything online, and tomorrow again we would be meeting you understanding the new activity on the Quarky. So that was all for the day. Thanks for being patient and thanks for coming and joining us on the Level 2 Educators Bootcamp. And thank you, everyone. Over to you, Tina.
That was a wonderful session, Ayush, learning about Quarky, its features, and doing different activities like animating a display, making our robot to move was quite interesting. Hope all our educators enjoyed today's session. Thank you all for joining. See you tomorrow. We'll be learning about self-driving robot. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I will like to answer one question. Today we have to finish all the activities. So it's not hard and fast because, of course, as we said, it's like this complete thing is going to be with you only. And we would like ask you to do it ASAP. Okay, it's not exactly you have to do it today. We can totally understand. You all are educators too. You might be also having a busy schedule. So, but you can take out a little time and submit it. You still have a lot time to submit all the activities till the end of the bootcamp. So no worries on to that part. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining. Bye.